And today I'm gonna talk to you about training and management. So we're gonna talk about how we're gonna stop our dogs from doing those behaviors that we as pet owners find maybe annoying, or maybe it's dangerous for our pet. It can be behaviors that we just think are gross. So with any of these behaviors, we're going to talk about two things that we need to do in order to change them. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to train a new behavior, and that's got to be something that they can't do the old behavior at the same time. So I'm going to give you an example of one that I have worked on with my dog. So pardon me while I move my camera. So in the past, what my dog used to do, let me see if you can actually even see anything. That's too bad. It's kind of, the lighting has changed. Aha, that's better. Okay, so what my dog used to do is she used to attack my shoelaces whenever I was putting my shoes on or taking them off. And what I did to remedy that was I trained her to do a really solid sit, stay, and down stay on a mat. So let me get her attention. Snuggle. Ready? Us. Stand. Okay. Come on, Doodle. Good job. There she is. Okay, recliner. So she's on her mat, and I'm going to put my shoes on, and she can stay there and wait for me. And normally this would take a lot longer for me to actually get my shoes tied, but you can't actually see that, so I'm going to skip that part and just get her leashed up. I'm going to go outside with her. I'm going to peek outside. Close. This way. And since we're not actually going out right now, oh, snuggle. Recliner. This one. Good job. Wait. So there we go. And again, normally I'd be actually dealing with my shoelaces. Free. Go on. And there she goes. Okay, so that was what we trained. That was a behavior that we wanted instead of her going after the shoelaces. So the other thing that we had to do, though, aside from training that good behavior, was management. So management is essentially anything that we're doing to prevent our dogs from doing the undesirable behavior when they're unsupervised. So that means when I'm not home, when I am watching TV, when I'm spacing out on my phone. So here we go. Yes, I'm using pieces of paper with marker. Okay, so there's our management. So what we did for the shoe problem was my dog would also attack our shoes when they were just lying around the house. And in order to stop her from doing that, what we had to do was put all of our shoes in the closet. So we don't have shoes in the closet anymore because she doesn't do that behavior anymore. But we had to put them all in there and make sure the door was shut instead of leaving them out which is what we can do now. So now our shoes are just in this open shelf, right? So that was part one of management. All right, so those were the two things that we worked on. The other part of management is giving our dogs a legal outlet. And a legal outlet means, well, let me go back to, why is the dog doing that undesirable behavior in the first place? Most of the time, undesirable behaviors are behaviors that humans find inappropriate or annoying or dangerous, but the dog actually does not think that. In fact, a lot of those behaviors are really natural behaviors that they need to stay healthy and stress-free. So a good example is, why was my dog chewing on shoes? And it's because, especially for puppies, when they're teething, they have to chew. It helps them deal with the pain of teething. And even as dogs get older, it is a big part of stress relief. And for dogs that are feral or in the wild, it's a good way to get food, right? It's a good way to get marrow out of bones or get garbage out of containers for those dogs that are living on refuse, human refuse. So it is in their in their estimation, it's a good thing to do. So to meet those needs in a way that is okay with us, we need to provide something like this. So I have a variety of toys here. These are all chew toys. And when you're choosing chew toys for your dogs, what I recommend is trying lots of different textures. So there's like rubbery, there's rope toys. There's some rope toys. There's kind of a harder nylabone for big dogs with strong jaws. And I would recommend also trying lots of different shapes. So some dogs are ball dogs. Some dogs like to chew on only stick shapes, etc. And that is the end of part 2 of management for that behavior. So we gave her something to actually work that behavior out on that we are okay with. All right. So that was example number 1. I'll give you a second example before I give you all some time to ask questions. My second example is, I live in a 2-dog household. So you met my dog, and there's another little dog here. He's not going to be on camera today. But, me and my roommate who owns the second dog, sometimes we take them out together on hikes, but a lot of times one of us is leaving the house and the other isn't. And when dog number 2 sees dog number 1 getting ready to leave, dog number 2 gets excited and wants to run out the door. So we can't have that happen. So what we did, again, what I have trained my dog to do is a really solid, rock solid sit stay that's very reliable, or a rock solid down stay. And so I just have her get into a sit stay or down stay as my roommate is leashing her dog up and they go out the door. In the meantime, though, my roommate, her dog is not ready for that. He doesn't have a solid sit stay or down stay. So when me and my dog are leaving, here's what they do. I'm going to take you through the house. So here we go. So what we do instead is, here's the stairwell, and we'll just put dog number 2 behind this baby gate if we can't watch them while the other person's leaving. I put some corrugated plastic on the front of that so there was a visual barrier. And here's another option. You get to see my messy storage room. But there's another baby gate that goes into here. So one of the dogs can be in there while the other person is going in and out the door. A last option might be just using a door. So you can put your dog in another room while the other one's leaving. You can't supervise. Or my roommate will sometimes just walk around the house with her dog on leash, so he doesn't run out the door with me and my dog. So that's some good management for door darting. And again, we might ask, why are our dogs door darting in the first place? in order to find legal outlets for this behavior. Well, our dogs are probably door darting because they want to go outside. It's fun. They want to get that exercise, that fresh air, sunlight. They want to spend quality time with us. And a lot of times, especially now during COVID, we're at home, we're working from home, we're ignoring them, we're on our computers. And so that moment where you step out the door is the time that they get to spend with us or with each other. So what we do is, as far as legal outlets go, I just make sure that my dog gets that outside time. So every morning before I go about the rest of my day, I make sure that she gets at least half an hour of exercise. So we're going to play ball. We're going to go for a jog around the block. We're going to go for a hike a couple of days a week, like a longer hike a couple of days a week, and make sure that her needs are met before the rest of the day begins. Okay, so that's everything on training and management. What I'm going to recommend to you all is when you've figured out the management for whatever the behavior is that you don't want your dog to do, the training aspect to get those behaviors really reliable, go ahead and talk to your trainer because you also might not know why the behaviors are happening, and that's an especially good time to ask your trainer why they might be happening and figure out a good alternate behavior to do. So that's everything on that. If you'll have questions, go ahead and enter them into the comments. And if any of you feel like chiming in, I'd love to know if you have any pets at home who are doing behaviors that you don't want them to do, and go ahead and let me know what those behaviors are. Let's see. So I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to enter anything into the comments. And what do I see on here? A lot of people, oh, okay. So Dawn says, my puppy has just started digging in the yard. Okay. So, why do we want puppy not to dig in the yard? Actually, that's a good question for you, Dawn. You want to prevent that behavior because do you think your puppy's going to dig completely out of the yard? Or is it just because it's messy? Because, puppy gets dirty doing that. I wish there was a faster way for me to get video from you all, or get maybe audio from you all. I think there might be. So I'm gonna. We want to prevent holes, and it's messy, and there's a possibility of puppy escaping. Okay, so let's think about this management for puppy digging in the yard. Something that has been very successful for myself and for some of my clients is, well, fencing always helps. So there's a variety of things you can do. One is you can make a specific area just for your dog to dig in. So what a lot of people that I've worked with have done is they literally just made their dog a sandbox, and that can be, a small fenced area that can actually be a sandbox. That is where they're allowed to dig, and the dog's just not allowed to go in the other areas of the yard to dig. If you're worried about escapes, what you can do is, it takes a little bit of work. It's worth it though for peace of mind. And it also depends on how big your yard is. You can, I'm going to give you a little, here, I'll do it with piece of paper. So if this is my fence, and this is where the soil is, what you can do is actually just put some chicken wire against the fence and then have it turn at an angle underneath and along the fence line, so that if puppy's digging along the fence, he or she is going to hit some chicken wire on the way out. So they're not going to dig a hole all the way out the fence. And that's especially important if you have a dog that you're not neutering or spaying. So if your dog is intact, they can smell other dogs 10 miles away. So a male dog can smell a female dog that's in estrus 10 miles away, and they will try and get out, and they probably will succeed. So, yeah, shoring up that fence that way is a really good idea. And going back to the idea of the sandbox, what I've done with some of my clients is in that sandbox area, you want to encourage the digging in that area. So you want to put in the kind of substrate that your puppy likes digging in there. So whatever the kind of material is they enjoy digging in, you want to put it in there. And to really encourage the digging in that one area, you can put things that they want to find. So you can put a toy in there. You can put a stuffed Kong in there so that they can smell it and they have to dig it out. And you're actually tackling the legal outlet portion of management by doing that too, because you're actually encouraging the digging in the correct place, and they're going to get that really great feeling they want from the digging out in the sandbox. So the tricky thing about that, of course, is when the dog's in the rest of the yard, you're either going to have to watch them or not allow puppy to be in the rest of the yard. You can also train them. So this is really moving into training instead of management. You can also train your dog to have a really strong recall so that they come to you right away when you call them. So as soon as you see them, put that paw down where they like to dig. You just call them back to you, get them back in the house. Okay. Any other questions or interesting undesirable behaviors that have shown up? If you all have other types of pets, these concepts are completely appropriate for other types of pets. So cats, birds, lizards. You're welcome, Dawn. I'm glad I could help. Yeah, just go ahead and put them down in the comments. Okay, I'll give you guys a couple of seconds, and after that I probably will sign off. And I do want to let you all know before I sign off that our next Facebook Live, the topic is going to be socializing our dogs and puppies during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, oh, hi Shannon. Yeah, I mean, a lot of us cannot get out of the house right now safely with our animals, and so our animals are not getting to do the socializing that they want. So we're going to talk about solutions to that problem. All right, everybody. Sorry, Shannon, I know you just got here. I'm actually going to sign off now. This video is going to be published on our Facebook, so you can watch it later. If you missed the beginning. And I don't believe I ever introduced myself. My name is Satid. I'm your trainer here at Paws Up. And have a great day, everybody. Enjoy your afternoon, and please stay safe, whatever you're doing for the Super Bowl. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.